Mr. Farooqui, Mr. Ravi Shankar, Kiran, and friends, I would like to add my own welcome to Mr. Farooqui for your perhaps the first meeting in Delhi with CII. CII has been traditionally involved with DOT on the broadband space for a number of years. In 2010, we brought out a report which is called the Roadmap for Broadband in India. We basically talked about a case for broadband, the need for broadband. I think those points are pretty well established now, but it was important at that point in time. In 2011, we worked very closely with DOT to bring out a report on models for rolling out the National Optical Fibre Network and the possible areas of government intervention. And the DOT acknowledged our inputs while creation of NOFIN. So I think this particular report that you see today is a continuum, is process the continuum that we are having with the DOT and adding some knowledge and data and facts to the discourse on broadband. I'd like to also congratulate the government on its vision of creating, of connecting 2.5 lakh villages in India. It is clearly going to transform the way we're going to live, work, and play in India. Dr. Pepper, if he had been here, would have talked about this VNI index that we launched yesterday, and Mr. Ravi Shankar was there at the launch yesterday. And clearly the data shows that India is on the cusp of a data revolution. We're looking at the number of devices in India proliferating from the 1 billion level today to 2 billion levels by 2017, and the internet traffic growing by 6.4 folds, a CAGR of 43% at the same period of time. The areas of concern for industry, and I'm sure it's the same for the government in terms of the whole broadband architecture, is in fact on the, while the focus is very much there on the middle mile and there's good momentum that is going on at this point in time, I think there should be a focus also on the core and as well as the last mile, and I'm very aware that the government is also focused on that. And also the importance of business model, and this report is perhaps the first effort in trying to get more focus from the industry on the business models which will make it viable for a sustainable intervention. There have been a number of pilots that several companies and the governments have made over several years on ICT intervention. And all these pilots have proved beyond any doubt that ICT can make effective intervention in areas like health, education. And price points have also been proved. But the frustration for both the government and the private sector is that we have not been able to really scale beyond the pilots. And maybe the time has now come for us to scale beyond the pilots, and the thrust of this report is also to focus on that area. And in terms of the way forward, I think it's important for us to reconcile the probably the thought processes in the government and the thought processes in the private sector. The government perhaps feels in somewhat rightfully that by laying focus on the fiber and investing this large amount of money on the fiber, they have perhaps done their role in bridging the viability. The private sector, of course, believes that some more cash infusion is needed to get the business model going. So we'll have to find a way forward. And again, as Jaideep was mentioning, the suggestion that the big idea that we have in the report is not a new idea, but the idea that we were really focusing on is to look at seeing, can government, being a customer, be that catalyst that will get both the private sector and the government to work together. What we mean by that is there are all these billions of program dollars that are available in various line ministries like the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education. The question is, can we channelize those money and make NOFIN as the central piece, not a periphery, but a central piece for delivery of some of these important social programs. So that is the big idea that we want to pursue during the course of the next year. What we have in this report is a kind of a framework, a lot more work that needs to be done, and we look forward to working with the DOT, but we also realize the importance of working with the various line ministries. And we have talked about creation of a CII government working group, which also includes, importantly, people from line ministries and various stakeholders who will make this business model work. With these words, may I now request Kiran to hand over the first copy of the report to Mr. Farooqi.